is it doing this? Hold on. Okay, y'all, I'm just trying to figure this out because I never went live on here. Like, I don't know why it's not letting me. I don't know why it's not letting me go live long ways, but I guess we're just gonna do it this way. So hold on, let me fix it real quick. Give me a second. This is terrible. Terrible lighting, terrible editing. That's a little better. A little better. Still terrible lighting. We just don't have to work with it. Okay. So, and now I'm saying I want to say. It's like I get nitpicky and I just. Anyway, so I just wanted to say before I start getting into today's live, I hope that my fan isn't too loud. If it is, y'all just let me know. And also, my cat is in heat, so if she starts wailing, I might have to end the live. But because I hit 1,000 subscribers on here, which thank you so much, Retro Bates, I love you. I wanted to do a video on how I changed my life in 2 months. I know I said that the chapter was behind me, but I feel like it's really important to talk about because a lot of the questions that you guys are asking are from that time period. The 2 videos that are spiking on my YouTube now are from that time period. So in order to answer all your questions, I just feel like my videos do well when you guys learn from my story. So I'm just gonna tell you my story. Yeah. So for some backstory, this all happened in 2021 going into 2022, like the last quarter, which is why I said in my last video that for some reason the last quarter of the year is when everything just starts happening for me. But so long story short, backstory is that in around April of 2021, I was in Miami with my parents' house. I moved there from the pandemic, and me and my parents, we just didn't get along, so they ended up kicking me out. And when they kicked me out, I just didn't have as many options. I didn't have a job, so I just moved in with my sister in Chicago. So there were a lot of ups and downs, all that stuff. And yeah, so around October rolls around and I'm living with my aunt, and I did not like the idea of living with people. I don't like the idea of being a burden. So I would find quick ways that weren't sustainable to move on, so I did not have to be in the environment that I was in. So when I told you guys in how I manifested my apartment video that I manifested every apartment I've been in, I have. That doesn't mean they were good apartments. That means that I manifested that apartment quick with my circumstances. And usually my circumstances were I had just started a job, I had no savings, and my credit score was shot. So because of that, I only and because of the time crunch, and because of my mindset, I was only getting apartments that reflected what I thought I deserved because I had a low credit score, I had no money, and I had just got a job. So I had just got a call center job and I was living with my aunt. And I was living there for about 2 weeks and I was like, no, I can't do this. I can't do this. I don't want to be a burden. Let me move on the north side of Chicago. That's always where I wanted to be. Manifested that apartment in like 2 days. Got that apartment. The moment I stepped in that apartment, I think it was a sublease from November to February. The moment I stepped in that apartment, I saw roaches. The moment. And I've never lived in an apartment with roaches before, so I did not know, like, the first night when I saw one, I did not know what it was. I thought it was just like, I don't know, I just thought it was like a regular bug, because like there's different types of roaches. There's different types of roaches, okay? And I've never seen, every time you see like roaches on TV or anything like that, they're like the big fat ones. You never see like the baby ones, so I didn't know what it was. So Like, I noticed like every single day I was seeing something in my apartment. I was in a call center job that I hated. I was in an apartment that I hated. I was so down bad. I was not talking to my parents. Every time I talked to my parents, we would fight. I went no contact with them. I was just so angry and I had so much rage pent up. I was looking at my life and I hated every single aspect of my life. And I was like, no more. I need to change. I need to change. I cannot live this life anymore. And I know everybody says that you need to be love and light to manifest. You need to be positive to manifest. Those are so false. You just need to be fed the fuck up. You just need to be fed up with your life. And that's how you manifest. You, okay, let me take that back because I feel like the law of assumption girls are going to come for me. There's different ways to manifest, yes. But I found when you're in a shitty situation, you don't need to be positive. You just need to be fed up. This video is for people that are fed up. This video is for people that want to change their life and change their life fast. This video is not for people who have been living their life the same day, day in, day out, and one day they wake up and they're like, this isn't for me. I want to change. I want to do something different. No, this video is not for you. This is for people who are homeless. This video is for people who have been in a dead-end job. This video is for people who have been putting off their goals and putting everything else first. That's what this video is for. This video is for people who are down bad because I was down bad. Like, down bad. I was miserable every single day of my life then. Okay, so this was November 2021. I was in my apartment. The girl lied to me about it not having roaches, of course, because she wanted to sell the apartment. It was a sublease. So, yeah, I was in an apartment that stank. The landlord was terrible. My job was terrible. And then one day, I was just like, I can't do this anymore, and I quit my job. When I quit my job, I couldn't pay my rent. And it was a sublease, so I still had like 2 more months to go. So I literally only paid rent on the first month. Everybody asked me, how do you get a job fast? I think the key here is to just know that you have the job. So when I quit my job to because it was too much in my apartment, when I quit my job, I realized that I wanted to work somewhere where I made more money, because every job up until then I was only making about $15 or less. And I was like, I need more money because I want a better apartment. I want a better lifestyle. I don't want to be living paycheck to paycheck. And I always had in my mindset that it's hard for me to get jobs. It's so hard for me to get jobs. And guess what happened? It was hard for me to find a job. So my sister, I have a twin sister, and it's so easy for her to get jobs. It's so easy. She'll just go in the interview. It doesn't matter what happens. She will always get the job. And my mom would say to her, oh, you just have the job genie. You just have the job genie. That's why you always get jobs, because you just have the job genie. When in reality, she just goes in there and knows she's going to get the job. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to adapt that. I'm going to go into every interview just knowing I'm getting the job. And ever since then, I've got every job that I have wanted or sought out for. So when I was in my apartment, this was around like January-ish. I was in there. I had no money. I was literally buying gas station food to get me by. I was selling art to get me by. I had nothing. Why I didn't get Link or something, I don't know. I wasn't even thinking. I was just miserable. I would just binge watch TV, sleep on my air mattress, because I didn't even have a bed. I did not have a bed. I was sleeping on my air mattress. Sleeping on my air mattress that was broken. So it would like deflate, and I have to re-inflate it every night. And I was terrified that the landlord would bang on my door, because it had already been 1 month that I did not pay my rent. And no one said anything. And I was just like, I felt like a prisoner in my own apartment. I was scared to go outside because I was scared to run into my landlord because he lives in the building. I was scared to run into maintenance because they live in the building. I was scared for somebody to kick me out because it was the winter time in Chicago. It's freezing and snowing. I had nowhere to live. So once I decided like that I wanted a different life. I started to seek out jobs that paid more. I was like, I want to make $20 or more. I've always wanted a job that makes $20 or more an hour. And I was talking to my little sister one day, and this is where if you just put things out there, things just come to you. So I was just talking to her one day, and she was like, "Well, why don't you just apply for BMO?" And if you don't know what BMO is, it's a bank. It's Harris Bank, and my dad works with Harris Bank. He doesn't work for Harris Bank, but he works with Harris Bank. And so I don't know why, out of all these years, I never thought just to apply to the bank that he works for. Like, why? I never thought of that. I don't know. I was like, oh, okay, a bank job. I always wanted a job where I could sit down. I always wanted an office job because I've always worked in some sort of food service retail job. I always wanted a job that was steady paycheck. I wanted a job with structure. I wanted a job that was easy. These are all the things I wanted. And literally, just by having that conversation with my sister, sparked it in my head. Oh, let me just apply here. Now, I started to doubt myself immediately because at this time, I had the worst self-concept. But you can still manifest even though you still have a bad self-concept. But I had the worst self-concept. So I was telling my sister, I was like, they're not gonna let me in there. They're not gonna let me in there. I don't know nothing about banks. I never worked a cash register. I never did this. I never did that. She's like, girl, it's just the bank. Like, just apply. It's just the bank. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. Why am I sitting here doubting myself? I'd rather apply and get a no than sit here in this apartment miserable with no money. So I applied and I literally got the job. It was so easy. Like, I literally got the job. I remember that I have the job, Jeannie. I have the job, Jeannie. I get every job I apply for. That was the affirmation. I get every job I apply for, and I got that job the same day. And I was thinking back on it, and every time that I've had that notion in my head that I get every job that I apply for, I've gotten it the same day. Like, I didn't have to wait a week for them to go to the other applicants. Literally the same day, if not hours after the interview, I got, hi, we would like to welcome you on the team. That's what I would get. So why I thought it would be any different, I don't know. And that's another story for another day. I want to do a whole video on self-concept because I'm really delving into my self-conceptness, and I love her. I love me. So that's how I got the job. People ask if I live in the end to get my job. No, I don't live in the end. That's never worked for me. It might work for some people, but every time I try to live in the end, it just gives me more anxiety because I think about how I don't have it right now, which I know isn't living in the end. So just, I don't know, I haven't cracked the code on living in the end yet. But how I always get the job is I just go in with the mentality that I have it. And that's the affirmation I say. I always say, I have the job, Jeannie. They love me. I got the job. I don't even have to say I'm the most qualified. It doesn't matter. That's the thing about it. I don't even think about the qualifications. They don't matter. That's where the circumstances don't matter. Qualifications don't matter. Bachelor degree or not, don't matter. Previous experience or not, don't matter. They're going to train me. They don't care. They just want me on the team. And when I tell y'all, I was the best addition to that job. I don't care. I'm going to toot my own horn. I was the best addition to that job. It started off rocky at first just because, you know, the learning process, but I was the one who got the best surveys. I was the one who got the average of our team up. Everybody loved me at that job. Everyone loved me. I got awards every single month at that job. I was one of the top sellers at that job. I was put in the newsletter for that job. I was the representative for that job. And had I had let my inner conversation stop me from applying there, I would have never gotten the job. I would have never got a job that I wanted. That sit down, that's super easy. I literally used to just walk in that job, look cute, and leave. Like, it was that easy. There was no thought in it. I could just be my bimbo self, walk in there, do my little cute click, clack, make my money, and leave. And it was amazing. So, I know everybody was asking, like, how to get jobs. That's how I do it. I also have a video on how to get the perfect job for you. And that goes into more specifics on my channel if you guys want to check that out. If there's any questions that I don't answer in this live, you can always ask them in the comments, or you can just, what am I saying? That's the same thing. You can ask them in the comments on the live, or you can just comment once the live's over, and I'll do it. That's what I meant to say. But yeah, so I had just got the job, but the thing about the job is that if you ever had any type of like customer service job, you know they start on a certain date. It's not like retail where they're trying to get you in where you can fit in so you can start like tomorrow. I had to wait a month before I could start my job. So that means I still had a month living in this apartment with no money. But there was hope because I knew I had set in stone a salary that I was happy with, and I knew I had set in stone an environment that I was happy with. So I was like, now that I have a job per se, it's time to work on a place to live. The entire time I was in that terrible, terrible, terrible apartment, I was finding a way out any way I could. I wanted to move with my friend back to Texas. I just wanted to find a way out. I just was trying to run and escape, rightfully so. I was looking for rooms to rent and I was finding nothing. Friend couldn't have me in her house because she just got married, which was understandable. I almost went back to my parents' house, but I was like, no, I'm going to stick it out here. I tried to get rooms for rent, nothing. I almost had a room for rent up until the day that I was supposed to leave my apartment, and they canceled on me the day I was supposed to leave my apartment. That was ridiculous. That was ridiculous. But I get it. Sometimes when you have an aggressive, desperate energy, people don't want that in their space, and that's what I had because I was desperate and I was aggressive about it. But sorry, I'm getting notifications. Hold on. Okay. So what was I saying? The job. What about the job was I saying? No, I was talking about the house. Y'all, I be losing my train of thought so fast. That's why I don't do good with lives. Oh, okay. So yeah, so I found out about me getting the job in January, but the job didn't start till the end of February. So that was basically like a month and a half, almost 2 months. Stop new subscriber. Just insane. Oh, 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 that's so sweet. Not a cloud chasing scam. You're so funny. I could if I wanted to, but yeah. What was I saying? Y'all, my train of thought is so bad. It's ADD. Yeah. So I had about 2 months until I had to be starting my job, and I also had 2 months left until my lease was up for my apartment. So in those 2 months, I did not pay rent at my apartment because I had no money. How was I gonna pay rent? Like I literally didn't want to be there. I used to take a bus for like 2 hours to visit my friends. I would stay at one friend's house for the weekend, one friend's house for the day, other friend's house for a week. Anything to be out of that apartment. They were so sweet. They would give me food because they knew I was broke. My friend used to, because she knows I don't ask for shit, she used to like sneak food in my purse. So I have snacks when I came home, and she knew I had like a bug problem. So she would give me like something easy to eat, like Lunchables, so that they're covered, there's no smell, you can throw them away. Like my friends were real A1 in the situation. I was minding my own business in my apartment one day, and I hear a bang like the police on the door, and it freaked me out. So I ignored it. I heard another bang like a police on the door. I ignored it. And then I hear somebody say, hey, we know you're in there. We can see you're in there. We know you're in there. Answer the door. It was my landlord. He was like, you haven't paid the lease. I mean, you haven't paid the rent for like 2 months. And I said, why would I pay the rent here? This place is roach infested. And he got so mad. And he was like, well, if you're not going to pay the rent, then you need to move out. I was like, okay, I'll move out next month. Next month came around. I was still in the apartment. Because where was I going to go? I had no money. Banged on the door again. Unlocked the door, which you can't just enter someone's apartment like that. Like, I literally was so scared to be there and felt so unsafe there, and I had nowhere to run to. It was crazy, y'all. But at the same time, my social media was going up. It was just a wild ride. Yeah. So he hit me with the eviction notice. It was just the notice. I was freaking out because I'm like, I really don't want an eviction on my record. and I talked to my sister about it, and we figured it out. But it just felt like every time I was getting closer to getting out of my house, something else bad was happening to me. And one morning I woke up so fed up because I woke up and there were like, oh, I hate bugs so much. There were like baby roaches crawling on me when I woke up, and I packed my bags and sat them by the door. I packed all of my shit up and sat it by the door. I think I have a video on TikTok where I said I did that. I said I saw a big ass roach in my bathroom sink. I packed my bags and sat them at the door, and they're not leaving there until I move out. I was like, I made up my mind. I was fed up. I'm like, I am moving out. I did not care. I am moving out. I was looking at apartments. I had no money. I didn't care. I knew I was getting out of there. I kept telling myself, my life is not supposed to be like this. It can't be like this. I was like, there's no way it has to be like this. My life is not like this. There's no way in heaven, hell, on any part of the earth, up and below, that my life is like this. It has to be a way for it to change. And after that, it changed. So, the end of my lease was up. I literally had nowhere to put the stuff I had in my apartment. I just left everything there. I took everything I could fit in those suitcases and just took them with me to a hostel because I had no room to rent. The person that I was gonna rent the room from, bailed on me on the last minute. I didn't want to live in a motel because I was scared the same like roach infested dirty place thing would happen, because I knew I didn't have the money for like a nice hotel or motel. And I was like, you know what? Chicago's a really booming city. Like it's a city that people come from all over the world to visit to. It's been like that for like 100 years. They have to have nice, affordable places for you to stay. Now, I got a question about hostels, and I will go in depth with that right now. So, with hostels, a hostel is a place, it is co-living that people stay at for short periods of time or sometimes long periods of time when they're traveling. So, with a hostel, you have to be 9 times out of 10 from out of state in order to stay there. You cannot just be someone from Illinois staying in an Illinois hostel. You have to look at their rules and regulations. Well, most hostels are like that. And there's hostels all around the world. So like, you know, some people that like backpack in Europe, they'll just take their one little suitcase and stay in a hostel, meet people in the hostel. There's usually people from all around the world that live there. It's usually like cleaner than going to a motel because, you know, they want to have the good reviews. They want to have more people coming and staying. It's like a grade level under from a motel because it's co-living. And it was very affordable for me because I think, I can't even remember how much it was a day, but it was really cheap. It was in my budget. I think it was like $30 a day or something. So I stayed at Wrigleyville Hostel, which was great because it was still on the north side and still close to my new job. So the day I had to move out and go to the hostel was the day I started my new job. But I acted like nothing was wrong when I went to that job. I acted like everything was great, everything was grand. The hostel was a great experience, and the reason that I got in there, even though I'm a Chicagoan, is because, thank goodness, for the short time that I was in Miami, my parents made me get a Miami ID. So I was able to use my Miami ID to get into that Chicago hostel. I just feel like all of that was some higher power. It's definitely some higher power. But yeah, so what else did they ask about hostels? I'm trying to think. I already answered how I got it, how much it costs. They're very cheap. I don't think hostels are more than like $60 because it's a co-living space. You can be on a a co-gender floor or co-gender room, or you can be in a single gender room. The reason that I liked it when I went is not only that it was clean and everybody was nice, it was very secure. Like, you had a key card, it was very secure. They made sure that no one besides you can come in there. You can't bring friends in there. None of that. It was very safe. It was emphasis on clean. They had like a huge kitchen so you can make food. Um, what else? What else? What else? And because it was the winter and there was no holidays coming up, when I was there, I basically had the whole room to myself until the last like 2 days because it was about to be St. Patrick's Day. So, yeah, I actually love the experience. But yeah, once I moved into that hostel, though, y'all, I knew it was time to get serious and get an apartment. So I had just started my job and I had just got my tax money. So I knew I had enough to pay first and last in security deposit for wherever I went. I didn't know where I was gonna go, but wherever I went, I know I was gonna pay first, last, and security deposit. I lined that shit up. I was so serious. Once I got my first paycheck, I was so serious. I took all that money, I spent it on bus fare, I spent it on application fees. Y'all, I was not playing around. I set into my mind that this was going to be my reality. I set into my mind that this is how I was going to live my life. And I set into my mind that what I'm living right now is not real. What I want is real. What I want is my actual life. Okay? So that's how I did that super fast. But yeah, I want to say, yeah, it was 2 months because I got my job in January and I got my apartment in March. So yeah, that's 2 months. But I think the key here is like when you're down bad, you just have to know that your situation is temporary. It's so temporary. You have the choice to change it. Okay? You have the choice to say that this is not it. And I've realized like in my past when I was in situations, I'm like, girl, how are you in a situation for 5 years? How are you in a situation for 10 years? Because you sat there and accepted that's what you were going to live. Once I accepted that that's not what I was going to live, things moved fast for me. And that's that's how I've manifested everything fast. I manifest things in one day. I manifest things in 3 days because I've had that mentality. And that's just what works for me. That and affirmations. Like I can't really, I want to be more of like a law of assumption channel on here, but I can't really speak to other techniques because I haven't personally tried them and they worked. Like I've tried sats, and sats is fun and sats is nice to imagine what you could have, but I haven't seen fast results. Affirmations, they don't work for me. I know that's really popular now in the law of assumption community, but Lord words. Affirmations don't work for me. Um, yeah, the only thing that works for me is being fed up. And I gotta stop that though. See, that's why I'm trying to work on my self concept because working on your self concept, you already know what you deserve. You don't wait till you in the shit to be like, oh, no, this ain't it. This ain't it. Why did I even allow myself to be in it? When you have a good, uh, when you have a good self concept, you don't even allow yourself to be in that shit. You only going from where you are and up. You don't go down because why would you? If I have a high self concept, why would I have ever accepted, excuse me, an apartment that looked like that? If my self concept was higher, why would I accept a call center job knowing I hate call center jobs? If my self concept was higher, why would I be doing these things? I would have been got a job that was $20 or more. I would have been lived in the apartment I loved. I would have been lived in the area I loved because I would have known, like, of course I can get that. Why wouldn't that? First of all, I should have better than that. Excuse me, y'all. Whew. Oh. Anyway, I know it's not that many people here, but if you have any questions, you can put them and I can answer them. If you have any questions about law of assumption, any questions for me, any questions about any videos of mine that you saw, or anything, you could just let me know and I'll answer them right now. But yeah, I'm just really happy to have 1,000 subscribers. I really am, y'all. That was my goal for my birthday, and it took 2 months after my birthday to get it, but I knew I was gonna get there. So it makes me so happy that I did. I'm trying to think what other questions I had. I talked about the hospital. I talked about the 2 months, getting my life together. I talked about self-concept. I hate when I don't have a plan, because then I feel like the dead silence is weird when you're live. But yeah, as far as my identifying with my future self video, I'm doing really well. The plan's going great. I have been seeing a lot of growth. I actually have realized when you put an intention out there, that's all you have to do. Things will just come to you. So like with the identity shifting, I told you guys I wanted to be more disciplined, especially when it comes to, I'm gonna answer your question in just a second. I just want to finish my thought. I wanted to be more disciplined when it comes to my body because I want my dream body. And literally the next day, I saw the 75 hard challenge. And not just the 75 hard challenge, I saw this girl make a whole Discord community for it. So not only did I find a way to help me be more disciplined, I found a community to be with, which is what I also said. I also said I wanted to move to meet more friends, and that's how you do it, by putting yourself out there. So that's amazing, and I'm just excited to see what other things just pop up, what other synchronicities just pop up as I go on this journey until January 1st. Also, with the 75 hard challenge, it's specifically made for you to get whatever you want by January 1st. So it's kind of what I already said. You know, they did it more of like a workout mindset way. So let me read this question. How do you manifest money as an artist without the usual frustrations of being an artist and people? Okay, so I've noticed for me, okay, you're asking me though. You're asking me. I gotta stop thinking generalized. So for me, affirmations is what works, because 9 times out of 10, when people aren't buying from me, it's because I feel like it's going to be hard. I was reading the book Rich AF, and I really encourage you to read that book. She talks about pricing your products, and she was saying that you have to price your products as what you believe they should be priced. Because if you believe they should be that price, then there's nothing that's going to deviate anyone from buying it. She was saying how she put the intention out there that she never receives returns or refunds on anything, and she has not received returns or refunds of anything. She put the intention out there that people love to pay her, and they're happy to do so. People are chasing her down to pay her. People are chasing her down for her products. So I would just say affirmations like, I always sell out. People love to pay me. People love my artwork. People love to share my artwork. People are chasing me down to get more and more artwork. I attract the right people that love what I'm doing. Think about who you're making your art for, and then attract that type of person to buy your art. Like for me, I know with Pretty Veronica clothing, with my clothing line, with my art, it's more of like cutesy kawaii meets pinup base. So I want to, excuse me, I want to attract people who are like cartoons, like art, like black culture, like anime. I think of that consumer and I'm like, oh, these people love my artwork, so of course they're gonna pay this. Why wouldn't they pay that amount? They love to pay that amount. They want to pay that amount because they know they're receiving the quality product. And that's how I would do that. And I've been doing it not so much with art, but with YouTube. I've just been saying, like, of course people watch my videos. My videos are amazing. The quality's there. Why wouldn't they watch them? They're so helpful. The algorithm loves to push my videos because why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it? The algorithm wants people to see what I have. The algorithm wants people to see your art. People who buy your art want to buy it so they can show other people, hey, I have this amazing piece of work. You should look at it because I looked at it and it made me feel a certain way, so I know it'll make you feel a certain way. Like, we don't even have time or energy for people to be finicky with your art. We don't have that. I don't subscribe to people that doing that. I don't have the vibration of people doing that at all. We ain't got the time for that at all. And that's how I would do that. That's what works for me. I just know if I'm falling into a certain way about my sales, it's because I feel like my art's not worth it. And if I feel like my art's not worth it, then why would anybody else do it? I'm only charging it upsell because I know I need the money. I'm not charging it up because I know it's worth that. I'm charging it up because I know I need money. You get what I'm saying? Like the difference? Anyway, that's my experience. I don't know how other people who manifest and shit, but that's how I do it. But yeah. And that's how I got like people to see my work as far as celebrities, because I was like, why wouldn't they love this? Of course they love this. It's amazing. Duh. Like sometimes you just gotta be like that. You gotta be not cocky, not arrogant, but just like believe in yourself and your work so much. Like, why wouldn't they buy it? Of course they would buy it. Of course they don't love it. I made it. It's me. I'm the one that made it. Of course it's good. You know what I mean? I hope that answers your question. If you're still here. But yeah. Okay, that makes me so happy. I don't know, y'all. Like, it's so awkward when I'm on live. I get nervous a little bit. Because I'm just like, I've had such bad experiences on live on TikTok. Not good. But on here, it seems cool. Y'all seem so cool. So I'll probably go live more. But I really thank everybody for watching. If anybody has any more questions about me, about manifestation, about law of attraction, about art, about fashion, anything, music, anything you want to know, let me know. I don't know. Let me know, y'all. I really want to make more videos with my art in it, and not just like drawing. I want to do more like singing videos. I know I do like shorts, but I want to do long form. I want to do artist days. I want to do more vlogs. I want to mix it up, you know. I'm really happy that my cat did not meow this whole time. It makes me real happy. She probably sleep. So that means she probably gonna start acting a fool in the middle of the night. But did y'all know it's National Cat Day? I posted my cat on Instagram, did I? I'm gonna post it on YouTube too. I'll post it on YouTube. But yeah, I can't believe I've been talking for almost 40 minutes. Anywho, I'm trying to think what else I could talk about, because I don't want to go. I wanted to go to an hour. I want an hour video, because I've never had an hour long video. For anybody that's coming in, I did the rundown about hostel, how I Lord, I can't even talk. I did the rundown about living in a hostel. I did a rundown about how I got my manifestations in 2 months' time. I'm a good person to manifest stuff in a time crunch, though. I don't know if it's the ADHD in me, but when there's a time crunch, when there's a goal and it needs to be done, I get it done. When I got all the time in the world, I just be sitting here like mannequin challenge. But then when it's time to get the shit done, I get the shit done. So yeah, that's why I had to put a time on my identify with your future self video, because I know if I do that, I'm gonna get it. You know what I mean? But yeah, since I don't see any more questions, I'm just gonna end the live here. I really appreciate all you guys. I really, really do. And any more suggestions for any videos, just let me know. And I love you guys. Bye, Retro Babes.